Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel for another video. For today's video, we are going to just jump right into it. I'm home from work and I'm going to be doing a mock PFA for you guys. This is one of the highly requested videos. I'm finally getting around to doing it, and yes, let's do this. So pretty much in this mock PFA, I'm going to be telling you guys the sequence and order of how the things are going to go, what you should expect, and kind of what you shouldn't do when it's time for you to take your PFA or on the day of your PFA. I do have a couple tips for things that you can do beforehand or the night before, but I do not know if they have changed the standards for male or females. I do not know if they have taken out other elements and switched them with something else. A lot of you guys are asking if they have taken out the push-ups or sit-ups and replaced it with a plank or something. I do not know. I am no longer in boot camp, so I'm going to be telling you guys a 2020 version of when I went to boot camp and how it was for me. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so first things first, you guys will not be in your type 3 uniform, your working uniform. You will be in your PT gear, so let's get that changed. Much better. Alrighty, so now that we are changed, we have on our PT shirt, our PT shorts. I don't have Go Fasters anymore because I threw them out the first chance I got. So I just have on my regular running sneakers. I'm gonna grab my yoga mat and we'll get started. As soon as you get into Freedom Hall, your RDCs are gonna be saying, like, you know, be quiet, stay alert, pay attention, and then the workers who work in Freedom Hall kind of take over, and your RDCs are there like now to just give you motivation and make sure you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. If you have RDCs that don't prep you beforehand, you will show up in your uniform like you saw me, and then you guys will have, I don't know, 2 minutes or something like that to hurry up and take everything off. But when we went, we wore our there's a B right here, so if I run, that is why. Ooh. So we showed up in our Smurfs, which means that we had on our hoodie and our sweatpants, and underneath we had this. So as soon as we got there for our final PFA, all we had to do was take off our hoodie and our pants, and then we got ready to go. They are telling you to move quickly, and they are telling you to listen up. As soon as you take that stuff off, get a drink of water, tip 1, and then you're gonna a small drink at that, and then you're going to go walk around, and then you have mats like this lined up, and they just go down, 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 down. Everything is done in alphabetical order, so don't think that you're gonna be able to pick your partner. You're gonna try and have your friend lie for you or cheat for you, add some extra, you know, push-ups and sit-ups to you, because it doesn't go like that. If your friend is you know, got the same last name as you, then you're golden. If not, join the rest of us. So they line up with all the mats, and then you're just standing around kind of like this. Just stand there, be quiet, don't say too much or do too much. Then they're gonna call your name, and then they're gonna say Via Grand 1, 2, 5. Then I'm gonna come around, and then I'm gonna stand right here in front of my mat. Or no, actually it's like this. And then my partner is gonna come and stand on the opposite side so that you see who your partner is. The only thing that's different about this one is that my mat technically will be turned the other way. That way both of us can have enough time. So anyways, you get your you also get a tracker that goes on your right leg, or they're going to tell you which leg it goes on, but that's pretty much going to be tracking you when you're running around. It has nothing to do with the push-ups or sit-ups. So you get your tracker, you get your mat, you got your partner. Next, what we did was, before you do any of the 3 events, you have to warm up. So you know that if you guys haven't been to boot camp, there's a saying that says, you know, are you ready? And then in response you say, always ready. You're not really ready, but you just say it and go along with it. So they say, are you ready? You say, always ready. And then they go through and you do some exercises. You guys do high knees, you do quick feet. What are some other ones? You do whatever this thing is called. And it's just a variety of those. You do them for 10 counts, and whoever your exercise PO is going to be leading them in the front, so they have to like do the most. So if you don't want to do the most, don't be an exercise PO, because you will always be up in the front leading the rest of the group. And after that, then you come back, and now they are telling you how to properly do everything for the 3 events. They go through and they're saying you do your sit-ups first, which I think is a good idea, because I don't get winded by sit-ups, but if my arms give out, it's a wrap and I'm not going to be able to make the sit-ups. So when it's time for you to do your sit-ups, you get down on your mat, and then you lay all the way down, and then they say assume the position. So when you assume that position, you are crossing your arms like this, and you are laying all the way down. When they say 3, 2, 1, and then that timer starts, and your legs are already up, you're going to come up. Now the gimmick is that you can come up to your thigh. You don't have to come up all the way up to your knees. You can come up to your thighs, and you can just bang them out and get them going. And that's what I did. I think in my final, I did like 100 sit-ups or something like that, which I think I maxed out for my age group. So that was good. But you pretty much are just going and doing them. Do not take your arms off. That's a qualification, or that's a disqualification. They will say, you know, don't remove your arms, recruit, stuff like that. Don't remove your arms like this. Don't come up and lean on your arms, they say. And it's just things like that. So make sure you're listening, make sure you're paying attention and following the directions, and do not talk while you're doing these exercises. So don't say 1, 2, 3. That's what your partner is there for. Your partner is holding your feet like this. They are cupping your feet down, and then so this is me. And I wish Christian was here so I can like actually have somebody to help me, but he's at work. And then pretty much the other person is going to be on your legs like this. So if you don't like your partner, or if you don't like them in general because they were in your division, sucks to suck, because pretty much they're going to be the ones counting for you, and you're coming up to them. So you're literally like saying, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And like that. So they're counting for you. And to be a good partner, I feel like you literally just need to like do one of these. Like, you got it. Like, you know, you're telling them by their facial expressions, like, you got it. Like, you know, keep going, keep pushing. So after you go for your push-ups, then you pretty much, you stay in your same spot, but then the roles reverse. So I was just sitting like here. Now I'm going to assume the position like this. And now I'm going to be holding my partner's feet, and then they're going to come up and do all of their sit-ups. How they track them pretty much is just the honor system, and they say last name, and then they say their own last name, and then you say their number. So I would say Via Grant, and then the person would say 105, 105, and then you always do single digits. So you would never say 42. You say 42, 105, 157. 20, however many they did, you say it that way. So you definitely want to try and max them out, because even if your partner isn't counting correctly and you did 5 more and they counted 5 less, you're still going to be good. The next thing that you're going to do is your push-ups. Now, if you have clammy hands like I do, you know, you're just going to need to do one of these, and that's really it. I'm going to move my mat a little bit up. And for the push-ups, you pretty much do them diagonally. So your mat is here, you're down on the ground, and they say assume the push-up position. You go on all fours, on your elbows, and you just sit there and you just sit there and wait. You can either go on all 4 of your elbows, or they allowed us to do like this, like you just laid on the floor completely flat with your hands down. But when you were there, you had to sit there and wait until everybody else was ready and then go. So that's where it sucked for me a little bit, because my hands would like kind of get clammy, and I would need to like, I would be doing like this on the ground. I was like so you just like stand there, and you're not on your mat, guys. You're not on your mat. Your other person is just sitting there watching you do this. So they say like assume the position. So you're like this, and they say up, and then you go up, and then they say 3, 2, 1, or they say go, whatever countdown they do. And they're also looking at your form, so you need to make sure that your butt is not in the air, you're not like this, whatever. You just start your push-ups, and then like let's say I get tired, right? You can stay up in this plank position and then keep doing push-ups. But what you cannot do is sit all the way down and then like think you're gonna come back up. Once you hit the floor, you're done. And your partner is also counting for you on this one, but the instructors at Freedom Hall are also walking around to make sure that nobody's getting hurt, everybody's doing the things correctly. So that's what they're always looking for. If you're in your push-up position, and I would do this all the time, after I did like 40 push-ups and I couldn't do it no more, I would just be like, and maybe I could get like 1 or 2 more in, but never do this, and never pick your hands up. that's pretty much all that is to it when it's for the push-ups and the sit-ups. The next thing that you're going to do is your run, and that isn't too hard, you guys, but the thing is that you almost need to regroup. After every event, regroup. If you didn't hit the numbers that you wanted to, don't stop. Don't let it get you down, because you still need to move on to the next one and crush it. So you stand up, and how it works is pretty much, my last name was V, so the front will be all the way over there, and then I will always be like one of the last ones. And the start to the line where you go to run used to always literally be like adjacent from me, so like straight ahead, or like just like right in front of me. And how they would do it is, as soon as they took your tracker, your little tracker thing, you would walk over, and they would say, okay, you guys go. So they set up the first 3 people, and I'll just move this, but they set up the first 3 people, and it's like 1, 2, 3. If you think you're a slow runner, you may want to go inside. If you think you're a fast runner, or if you don't really care where you stand, you may want to go all the way on the outside. For me, I either need it to be all the way in or in the middle. And I also don't like to run at the back of the group. So once they released everybody, if I didn't go first, I would run, and then I would try and like get to like be in the front. That way, like, soon as the timer goes off, I'm looking at that timer, I see it, I see my name, and like I'm ready to go. When you're running, I don't really know how to tell you guys how the run happens, because it's pretty much just an indoor track, and then you just run it 12 times to get your 1.5 miles, and then that's it. Some things to watch out for is you do not run on the outside of the lines, and yeah, don't run on the outside of the lines. You can walk, but I don't recommend doing that, because you're just gonna like get tired and give out. If you throw up, if you start coughing, if you walk off, your run is over. And if you fail any 3 of the events, you're gonna redo your entire PFA all the way over. So don't do that. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know how to tell you guys like to do like how to run. You run. You find your pace, you keep going. If you have a friend that you like to run with, you can totally do that, because a lot of people use me. They knew that their time was close to my time, or they knew that they had to make the same time, so they would like run close behind me. That way they knew if they were running like, you know, behind me, or at least like 1 lap, that they would pass their PFA too. A lot of people did that. I didn't really like it personally, because it made me feel like, okay, well geez, like if I slowed down or if I didn't do as good today, I would kind of let them down or disappoint them. But that's just the risk that they are going to take, not you. So be prepared, hydrate, and honestly, that is all that's to it. And the next part of this video, I'm going to go back inside, or probably just grab a seat and tell you guys some tips that will be helpful for your PFA. Okay, so it's super muggy and wet out here, and I've already sweated a bunch, and I did pretty much nothing except for tell you guys how it's, whatever. Tell you guys how it's going to go. That's the one thing you won't have to worry about is the bugs. But anyways, so some tips that I have for you guys. So prior to going to boot camp, you definitely can start your 1.5 miles in Navy Standard Time. If you get to boot camp and you get scared, or the air is just not good for you and you're down 10 seconds or something like that, it's not going to be that detrimental to you as if you never ran, and you get to boot camp, it's just too much, you can't make it, you're getting asthma. Like, that's just not the way to go. So definitely practice, and definitely try and get your timing and everything that you need to do before you get there. If you get to boot camp, you can definitely, or when you get to boot camp, you can definitely practice your sit-ups and push-ups after taps, which is after you go to bed, and you can practice them like when you guys have like little free time, if your RDCs allow you to do it, and that's only if they allow you to do it. We would do ours after tap. My 3 friends and I, Marcus and Proctor, we would do, Marcus was Alpha, I was Bravo, and then Proctor was Charlie. Those were the little groups that we were in, just for our ages and stuff like that. So we went off of Marcus. So we knew that if we did her time and we matched all of her stuff, that for one, she would get it, and then that also for 2, the both of, you know, Proctor and I would make it too. So she had to do 60 sit-ups, so we did 60 sit-ups. She had to do 40 push-ups or something like that, so we did 40 push-ups. You know, she had to make her time in 14:35, so that's what I was striving for, 14:35. So I didn't have a problem with that, and we did it and we made it. So that's just some of the things that we did. The night before you go to the night before you go to do your PFA, you guys, hydrate. I cannot tell you to hydrate enough. Don't overdo it, but you need to make sure that you're hydrating. And I say the night before because while you're sleeping and stuff like that, you're gonna stay hydrated, and then if you take your PFA early in the morning, you're gonna be well hydrated for the run and everything. And you don't want to drink too much water because you don't want cramps and all that on the morning of. Also, if you have drip drop, try and get you some drip drop and load up on that in the morning, because it'll give you a little sugar boost and, you know, kind of get you going. And who doesn't love drip drop while you're in boot camp? So definitely get drip drop, and see if you can talk to the see if you can talk to your starboard watch and see if you cannot have watch on the morning of your PFA or even like that day before. So for me, I was male PO, and I had male duties every single day for about 2 hours. So I would have the starboard watch put me on watch from like 4 to 6 a.m. or from 6 to 8 a.m., stuff like that. But on the PFA, I was like, yeah, don't put me on there. I was like, I'll have watch during the day, or you know, you don't even have to put me on the watch. So I didn't have watch the night before or the day of the PFA, so that was good. So if you're in with your starboard watch, you make good friends with them. Shoot, just be their friend just because you can, you know, try and finagle that. So hydrating, practicing your exercises, and pretty much getting enough sleep is all it's gonna be your tokens to passing your PFA. I hope that this was informational. If any of you guys have any extra tips who just recently got out of boot camp, you can just drop them down below. Any negative comments, I'm probably just gonna delete them. And yes, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment as always. Until next video, guys, bye.